What is required for successful outsourcing contracts? We've been holding a number of webinars on the recent outsourcing trends in Italy within this crisis scenario. We've also been analyzing the latest trends on cloud sourcing and what is actually going on within the market. Will this mean that we will have to change our contract structure and the approach to our contract drafting? The answer is that a lot has been changing. This is a very dynamic scenario, but it's just been an evolution, not a revolution. The legal basis will remain the same and the legal principle will remain the same. We've actually been seeing that within the crisis scenario, there's been a lot of renegotiation of contracts going on. There's a lot of customers that require a price reduction. At the same time, the suppliers will try to compensate that within longer term of the agreement. We've also been noticing a lot of benchmarking, although very often there are not adequate resources dedicated to such benchmarking. And we've noticed that with cloud services, there's been an overall concern from suppliers that the customers will easily change service supplier and will be able to gain an additional advantage. Will this trend remain in the future? The answer is, in fact, we don't know. What we do know is that we will have to follow the golden rules. Such golden rules are not a magic formula that will make every outsourcing relationship successful. And what are these golden rules? These rules are the ones that actually create and bind a relationship between the parties. Because we should not forget that an outsourcing agreement is a long-term arrangement. And the first failure of an outsourcing agreement is non-renewal, not to mention early termination. And how could you build up a long-term relationship? First of all, it's a matter of trust. And you can help trust with an adequate RFP process and with adequate advice with regards to the information that can be provided. For instance, it would not help building up trust and accordingly build up a long-term relationship, imposing on a supplier to accept the risk without being able to carry out an adequate due diligence on the customers. At the same time, it would not build trust if you are on the supplier side and you accept an agreement with the idea and the hidden agenda of actually progressively extending the perimeter of the services with additional hidden costs. A long-term relationship has to be based on transparency. Transparency in the way of calculating the charges and the way of actually revising such charges. Transparency means also service levels that are actually meeting the requirement of the parties. And at the same time, also the relationship was declining. For a successful relationship, it's also necessary flexibility. It's not possible to predict long-term future. At the same time, it is possible to insert now all the terms that will allow to change the contractual arrangements when necessary. This means even more so now, in some instances, inserting some open book accounting elements or else some volume discounts. So what is necessary for a successful contract? There is absolutely no magic formula, and I doubt that someone will ever find it. But there is the right approach. The right approach is be realistic and make sure that the business objectives are aligned between the parties. What makes an outsourcing relationship successful? Please let us know your views. Thank you.